The City of Bristol, providing beautiful parks, economic development, and a family-friendly community.
Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I ask the board members to please introduce themselves, starting from the far right?
John Smith, Board of Finance.
Mike Lamoth, Board of Finance.
Derek Chinchilewski, Board of Finance.
Orlando Kelfi, Board of Finance.
Calvin Brown, City Council.
Ron Burns, Board of Finance.
Anthony D'Amato, City Council.
Jody Zills-Gagny, City Council.
Cheryl Tebow, Board of Finance.
Mike Farini, Board of Finance.
Dave Proleski, City Council.
Dave Mills, City Council.
Jake Carrier, Board of Finance.
Mary Fortier, City Council.
Town Clerk Therese Pack.
Assistant Dawn LaBella.
And I'm Mayor Ken Cockane. Item number 1.
Approval of minutes of the regular joint board meeting on November 9th, 2016.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. Hearing none. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 2.
Is the consent calendar, and there are 4 items. First is to make an additional appropriation of $1,000 within the Special Grants and Donations Fund funded by a donation. 2B is to make an additional appropriation of $7,550 within the General Fund funded by Youth Services Bureau Enhancement Grant. 2C is to transfer $74,090 within the General Fund for the BPSA contract settlement. And 2D is to transfer $5,300 within the Building Department operating budget for overtime repairs and tires.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. Hearing none. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Item number 3.
To transfer $52,425 from the General Fund contingency account to operating transfers out special revenue.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. Hearing none. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 4.
To make an additional appropriation of $209,700 within the Special Grants and Donations Fund funded by a grant of $157,275 and a transfer in of $52,425 for the 2017 Comprehensive DUI Enforcement Grant.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. Hearing none. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 5.
To make an additional appropriation of $296,901 within the Capital Projects Fund funded by grant revenue and a transfer in from the General Fund for Engine 5 renovations.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. Hearing none. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 6.
To make an additional appropriation of $78,000 within the WPC Capital Non-Recurring Fund for Frederick Street Sanitary Sewer Project.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. Hearing none. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 7.
To transfer $308,543 from the General Fund contingency account to retirement benefits.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. Hearing none. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 8.
It's the monthly revenue and expense report. from
And
the
Glenn had
comptroller.
a prior engagement, so
Yes,
We're
I'm here in
blessed
Glenn's
with-
absence. The first thing I wanted to discuss with you is an update on the audit report. It's moving along very well. There's no major issues to report at this time. We're expecting a draft report on December 16th, which is Friday, and then next Thursday, the 22nd, we're expecting to get the final report, which is about a week earlier than last year. Last year, it was cutting it too close with the deadline of December 31st, and we actually received it on the 31st, which was a little bit difficult. A couple things Glenn asked me to let you know. The Board of Ed has hired a new business manager. He is going to be starting on February 13th. The reason he was unable to start earlier is because he had a contract with his previous employer, and they had a certain number of days that you had to give notice for when you're terminating. But he has been coming in 1 day per week. He was here last Wednesday, and he also was here today, and he's been working with Glenn and the Board of Ed staff to get up to speed. Regarding special education reporting, Glenn felt there was no need to have Ellen Solik or Mike Dieter attend tonight. He's been monitoring those activities and felt that it would be fine to have them come to the January meeting to do their report. And last, regarding budgets, the departments are busy working on their budgets, and we've been providing them daily guidance and assistance, and they will be turning in their budgets to us by January 20th.
any questions? Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. I didn't get my hand up
The
quick
legal?
enough. Yes, on the legal expenses, I just wanted to confirm that the way that that report is being given to us, the additional attorney's fees for each month are just a new page every time?
Yes, correct.
Glenn
So the
does it.
last page is the new
Correct.
fees
So
that
that'd
have
be
been
the only
added
thing
on.
I hadn't seen.
Correct.
Without
Everything
going
is-
page by page and.
Yes, that's
item by item.
correct.
And so that would mean that we had just the additional expense of the $1,611 to Updike County and Spellacy. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
All righty.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just confirm.
Madam Chairman, I have a question about the ongoing costs of the FOI requests. Is there a way that we can get some sort of light shed on the nature of each one of these requests and what has corresponded after each one of these? Because it seems to me that I'm not really sure that we're seeing any results from FOI requests that I'm not sure why they're continuing to come in. I mean, what the motivation is.
I defer to Ed. I'm not sure how we want to handle this.
I hear this almost monthly, and I'm just wondering,
I mean,
how
we
much
obviously
longer
have
we
copies of
listen
all
to
the
this?
invoices. We have copies of all the invoices. I'm not sure how much information the mayor or Cheryl feels we should be, what you would like us to do.
Sorry, I needed to compare notes on, make sure I gave you the correct answer. On the two items, Councilwoman, that are on are both FOI matters. The first one was a earlier complaint filed by Craig Minor that had been wrapped up and it ultimately was dismissed by the commission, and that just happened this month. The second item
What was the cost of that one?
Total?
Yeah.
Can you, could you, thank you. There's a bunch of, if Robin could do that, that would be helpful.
Oh, Park Robin.
The second item was also an FOI request by Craig Minor, and it had to do with your meeting that you had concerning the complaint on the mayor. And that item, Mr. Minor withdrew just the beginning of this week.
Correct, but it just for the record, I guess in response to Mr. Lamoth, I'm trying to track attorneys' fees in general, but I'm particularly trying to track ones that are related to the complaint filed against the mayor. So FOIing something related to the FOI commission that had to do with meetings about that complaint, that's why I just mentioned that one tonight.
Well, I understand, but I mean, from my own perspective, I'm not a political person. You know, I realize I'm a registered Democrat here in town, but anyone who knows me knows I couldn't give a hoot. If it doesn't make sense, I'm not going to go for it. And the question of the FOI requests about the mayor have gone back a number of meetings, and it's you know, it seems to be a cost accumulator, and I'm just wondering to what effect or what end are we going with that? You know, I mean, because by our attorney's own admission, it seems as though the last two amounted to nothing. And I just don't know what we're wasting taxpayers' dollars on, that's all.
Well, certainly Corporation Counsel can speak to how attorneys' fees are allocated, you know, what we hire attorneys for. But I think when someone files an FOI request and/or goes to the FOI commission, we have to defend the city. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, I understand, but at some
That's just the
point,
basic answer to that
aren't
question.
aren't some of these somewhat frivolous? And thus, being that way, I mean, are we to entertain every single one that comes up?
Well, it's not our choice, is I guess what I'm
Okay,
saying.
well, that's-
It's like
that's what I'm asking.
It's similar to being sued. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you have to at least respond to it, no matter, and again, I'm not trying to speak for the city, I'm just trying to give you a basic
Well,
understanding.
that's why I'm asking, because I'm hearing these things come up, and at some point, it makes me wonder, why do these costs continue to be a subject matter at these meetings?
I don't know exactly how much info you want. These items were all referred out outside because of the potential conflict that our office has. However, I can tell you that in both of those files, we instructed and had lengthy discussions very early on in the matters with the outside counsel. Motions to dismiss in both of those matters were filed very early and were objected to by the person who filed the complaint. And that's what caused these two matters to continue to go on. And as I said, the first one was dismissed by the panel, and the second one was withdrawn by the complainant this week.
So, through the chair, Ed, can I just clarify, Mr. Minor, after we incurred legal fees, you filed a FOI complaint, and then after legal fees are incurred, withdrew it. And so it stops completely?
On the second matter that's on the list that I just saw, on that matter, motions to withdraw were filed very early on, or dismissed. And on the first matter, the same thing applied. The first matter went all the way to the commission, and the commission dismissed. On the second matter, they had a hearing last Thursday. I think he was the last conversation I had with Attorney King. And at that meeting, there was open discussion with the panel and the hearing officers, and they were instructed to go back and start drafting post-hearing briefs. And by the time Monday rolled around, the matter had been withdrawn by the
So we
complainant.
incurred legal fees,
Of course.
and then the
Of
person
course.
withdrew.
Of course.
Robin, do you have a
Thank
ballpark
you.
number for those?
It was 26,672.
So 26,000.
The two that he had
Okay.
mentioned, which is which, but they're both identical.
Okay, all right, thank you. Anything else? All right. Anything else for Robin? Thank you, Robin. Any other business? Motion to adjourn. Motion made and seconded. Council meeting in 4 minutes. Good evening. Welcome to the City Council meeting, December 13th. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a moment of silence for our troops on active duty. Thank you. Item number 2.
Approval of minutes of the regular city council meeting on November 9th, 2016, and the special city council meetings on November 1st, 2016, and November 28th, 2016.
Move it.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion passes. Can we have the council people introduce themselves, starting far right, please?
Calvin Brown, District 1.
Anthony D'Amato, District 1.
Jody Zills-Gagnon, District 2.
Dave Mills, District 3.
Dave Perleski, District 2.
Mary Fortier, District 3.
Town Clerk Therese Pack.
Assistant Darla Bella.
And I'm Mayor Ken Cockane. Public participation. Sean Ruist.
Good evening, Sean Rest, 53 Lancaster Road. I was told you should always give negative remarks in between compliments, so I'm going to start out by saying I went to 3 meetings in the past week. Two of them were very rewarding experiences. One of them was at the BDA, where I participated in public participation, but I also was able to approach the podium and ask a question relative to an item that was being voted on the agenda. And Commissioner Schmelder happened to be conducting the meeting that day. And I got my answer. I left the meeting better informed, and I thanked him after the meeting, and he responded with something that sounded was music to my ears. He said, "That's what we're here for." And I thought that was fantastic. And this is the kind of interaction that I usually get with the BDA, by the way. I also went to a Council of Governments meeting where Marie Chassie, who's on our Planning Commission, was helping conduct the meeting. And there were some members of the Office of Policy Management from the state of Connecticut there, and I wanted to ask them specifically about public participation. At the end of the meeting, which is after the public participation segment, which I didn't speak at, but I was actually able to interject at the meeting and ask a question and left the meeting better informed. And that was fantastic. So I didn't sandwich it. I left the negative one for the end. I also went to a Bristol Planning Commission meeting. There's no public participation on the agenda. There's an item on the agenda that's relative to the Plan of Conservation Development. It's the Route 6 corridor study. And I really wanted to comment about it, but I wasn't able to, so what I did was approach the podium during old business. The chairman did let me speak. He didn't shut me down, but I merely asked the question, why is there not public participation? Section 49 of the city charter says any board or commission meeting, the public can ask any proper question. And there was, I got some positive feedback from some members, but I got some feedback from some others. I left feeling unwelcome at the meeting, and I think that we can do better. I looked on the internet. The EPA's website is actually pretty informative with participation engagement policies, because I don't know if you're aware, but the environmental justice aspects of the planning they're really coming into specifics with specifically for reaching out to low-income minority populations during the planning process. And on the EPA's website, there was one link that I was reading. It's a National Coalition for Dialogue and Deliberation. And they have listed the core principles of public engagement, and there's 7 of them. The second of which is really crucial because of the direction that the city of Bristol is moving in right now. Inclusion and demographic diversity says, during high-quality engagement, the participants should reflect a range of stakeholder demographic diversity throughout the town. When representatives are used, the nature, source, and constraints of the representative authority should be clearly identified during this participation process. And I don't want to go on because I already went over my time. I can forward this information to you, but I think it's really crucial that public participation be allowed during the planning process at the beginning. The guy I spoke to from the OPM says, as far as the state plan of conservation development, which is being redrafted, and it's very different in the past decade than it has been before. It's tied to these core principles for growth management. It focuses where you can get your money over in this area near rail. Our municipality during the public engagement process can gather information, and if members of the community during the process find out that it might be beneficial, you can actually change the state plan and we can get state funding in a different area. Or there's other thing is called balanced priority funding. This is a priority funding zone over here. Because of a section of this, and I can't address it tonight because I know I went way over my time, but we would be better off if that was a balanced priority funding area over there. And it's important that we get members of the community involved. They said we're going to have a meeting at the library. Well, we just had a meeting at the library in regards to transportation, and hardly anybody in the city knew about it. We have to do much better than that, I think, if we want to have a better future for Bristol. Thank you.
Thanks, Sean. Just so you know, you used up January and February's time.
I'll skip it. I'll save that.
Okay. Rod Nelson? Sean's a good sport.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Ron Nelson, 2 Constance Lane, Bristol. I'm here representing an organization called Disability Support Club, which I founded. I want to talk to you about a 10-year-old resident. He's going through some hard times. He's got what's called chronic granulomatous disease. He needs a stem cell and bone marrow transplant. He is one of the reasons why I started the foundation. We're doing fundraisers for him. Since September, we've done a bottle and can drive. And I'm very proud of the fact the community has donated over 50,000 bottles and cans. Makes me pretty glad to be a Bristol resident. Unfortunately, that works out to less than $1,800. His doctor is in Maryland, So his family's got to travel to Maryland once a month, starting now. And in February, they'll be there for the month of February. And that's a paycheck every time they go down there. Life still goes on, so it gets very expensive. Last thing they need is to come home to an eviction notice. So we're trying to raise as much money as we can. The second fundraiser we're doing is a pasta dinner at Nucci's on January 14th. I just felt that the town should know about the fact that this resident 10-year-old is in trouble, and the family is also in trouble financially as well as emotionally and spiritually. So I just wanted to let the town know about that. Thank you very much.
Ron, if you get me those information on your fundraisers, I'll get them on the mayor's Facebook page.
Okay, you want it now?
Do you have it now? Yeah, I'll take it. Thank you. And we all have Facebook, so I'm sure we'll all share it up here.
Okay.
All right, have a good night. Announcements, starting my far left.
Well, because I get to start, I can hopefully wish everyone a wonderful Christmas. And with the season of buying and giving upon us, I do want to remind people to shop locally. I think Councilman Proleski brought that up last month. It's really important. It's important to the individuals that you're supporting, but it's important to the whole city. When you support local businesses, it has ripple effects. And we do have some great places that I Christmas shop here. You know, we have florists, we have lots of mom and pop shops that we can get things for Christmas, and so it's important. Toy donations. I Googled toy donations, City of Bristol today, and I think you get up like 20, and that's not even counting churches and some other organizations that aren't on the internet. There's so many things going on for underprivileged kids, from, you know, donating to specific groups of children to children that are in the hospital to, you know, just lots of things. So I just hope people remember to support those organizations that are trying to make everyone's Christmas better. And as always, in very busy seasons, our blood donations are more needed than ever. So that's it for me tonight. Thank you.
Councilman? Thank you, Mayor. Mayor, you stole my thunder again, right? Shopping locally is important. I don't think I'm going to add to what Mary had to say, but I talked with the members of the West End Association, and a great stocking stuffer idea is their Taste of Bristol cards are out again before the holiday, $5 that benefits the association. And they have 30 participating restaurants locally where you can get 20% off your bill during the months of March and April, and the tickets are only $5, so it's a great idea. The other thing I want to caution people on is, you know, this is the season of giving, and we always try to promote giving locally because there's a lot of there's an abundance of good causes right here in Bristol and the surrounding communities, and you know you're helping your neighbors. Money stays locally, and it's easy to vet, you know, the various groups that you can contribute to. I just want to caution all of our neighbors and residents that if you are solicited, make sure you know who you're giving to, because unfortunately there's some not so nice people out there trying to collect money during the giving season as well. And just to piggyback on something that Councilwoman Fortier said, the United Way just had a toy drive, and over 2,000 gifts were donated for local distribution, which is outstanding. Over 50 local companies contributed to that. So I think that's pretty impressive as well, being a part of Bristol. And if you're looking for volunteer opportunities, I heard today that you know, this is an awful difficult time for our homeless people around Bristol, and that the shelter's looking for volunteers through December and January. So if you have some extra time, there's something that worthwhile that can make you feel pretty good about what you're doing. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you. Councilman?
Yeah, just again, wish everybody a happy holidays, Merry Christmas for sure. Also, just want to have a lighter note and congratulate the music groups in the city of Bristol. The The Bristol Brass and Wind had a concert, and the Bristol Choral Society also had a concert that was very well attended, and they were both terrific. And also Deb Schur and her group put on an outstanding performance at St. Paul's a week or so ago in the winter concert. All of those were well attended and very uplifting, so congratulations to them. That's all I have.
I also want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a safe and happy holidays. And I want to remind everyone that is now coming up to the time for the annual OM show. If anyone doesn't know what that is, it's an annual variety show put on by the older members of the Bristol Boys and Girls Club. It is the major fundraiser for the club, for the OMs for the club for the year. This year's show will be family-oriented and have adults and children in multiple numbers throughout the show. Auditions are coming up Sunday, January 8th from noon to 6, and Tuesday, January 10th from 6 to 9 at the Bristol Boys and Girls Club. Thank you.
Just a very short announcement. Again, happy holidays. Merry Christmas to everyone. Hopefully that everyone has a safe holiday. And one of the things that I always notice every year is the distracted driving and road rage. I contribute to a little bit of that every once in a while. But during the holidays, I think it's important to give it a rest. People make mistakes. People aren't always looking. And you know what? Just let's give everyone a pass every once in a while. Sometimes it is an accident. And, that'll make everyone's day a little brighter. Thanks.
I just would like to second something that Councilor Proleski mentioned, and that is the challenges that the homeless population are facing in the community now, especially. There are dozens of displaced people that are having trouble finding shelter to stay in. That's especially challenging over the next several days when temperatures will be near zero. So I hope everybody in the community stays safe, but if you do have some extra time or any resources that you can donate now through January especially, the homeless shelter could really benefit from that. So thank you, Councilor Proleski, for mentioning that. And of course, as the rest of my colleagues mentioned, a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and Happy New Year to everyone.
I have a few. Former Mayor Art Ward last week was just inducted to the Connecticut Veterans Hall of Fame. I was at the service, and it was quite an honor to be there. It was pretty impressive. Lieutenant Governor Wyman gave 10 veterans the award, so it was pretty cool to be there, and I congratulate former Mayor Art Ward for all he's done for the veterans. If you missed it, November 6th in the Bristol Press was an article that crime rate in Bristol in the last year is at an all-time low for at least the last 15 years. I want to congratulate our police leadership, but more so our officers, both men and women, who put their jobs on the line, their lives on a line every day. What's going on around the country, and these people are out there every day protecting us, bringing crime down. And they're getting involved in the community. I think that's truly why crime is going down. You see them out there on the walking beat. You see them talking to people. And I congratulate them. I also think some of it has to do with the attack on blight that we've aggressively attacked and spent money on, and it's paying off in Bristol. So congratulations to the police department on that. And lastly, Fanuel is a company that we brought into town this year, working diligently with our BDA director, Justin Malley. When we met with them, they told us they would hope to get between 250 and 300 employees by the time they're done. They just had an open house last week, and they're at 409 employees. And by the end of this year, they're hoping to be, next few months, hoping to be up around 470. So this is huge for downtown. You could feel the energy downtown, and this is exciting, and they're growing. So that's even bigger. So congratulations to Fanuel and the city of Bristol on that. And that's all I have. Item number 5.
It's the consent calendar, and there are 8 items. 5A is to place on file the new hire report for November 2016. 5B is to approve the tax refunds dated December 5th, 2016. 5C is to place on file the recommendation from the Planning Commission to take ownership of lots 20 and 22 Warner Street. 5D is to approve a tax assessment freeze application for Peyton Property Management, Justin Adamovich, owner of 10 Arrowhead Drive, Bristol, for the rehabilitation of a blighted property with the restoration of a single-family structure per Bristol Code of Ordinances, Section 5-57. 5E is to approve a tax assessment freeze application for Tahir Hussein and Zanib Bibi, owner of 204 Pine Street, Bristol, for the rehabilitation of a blighted property with the restoration of a 2-family structure per Bristol Code of Ordinances, Section 5-57. 5F is to approve a tax assessment freeze application for David Haberfeld, owner of 94 Divinity Street, Bristol, for the rehabilitation of a blighted property with the restoration of a two-family structure per Bristol Code of Ordinances, Section 5-57. 5G is to award contract 2P17-8, architectural engineering services relative to improvements and renovations at fire headquarters to Fryer Associates Incorporated for $17,500 and authorize the mayor or acting mayor to execute any necessary documents. And 5H is to authorize Mayor Kenneth B. Cockane or acting mayor to execute a change order to contract 2C17-1, Frederick Street Sanitary Sewer Replacement with True Blue Environmental Incorporated for $78,000.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 6. Committee reports. Want to do real estate?
Yeah, I'll do real estate first. I have a couple motions, Your Honor. First, I hereby move to grant the United Way of West Central Connecticut permission to use Center Square for a carnival for the period of time from April 19th through April 23rd, 2017, or April 26th through April 30th, 2017, provided all insurance requirements are provided to the city. I further move that this matter be referred to the Department of Public Works to determine the appropriate location of the carnival on Center Square. I further move that this matter be referred to the Corporation Counsel's Office for insurance compliance. I further move that the mayor or acting mayor be authorized to execute any necessary documents to effectuate the same.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. I have one. Well, around that April time, we should start road construction. Is there going to be enough room with them moving down farther?
In the area they have traditionally used, we should be okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, we asked about that when we
Okay.
took it into
Excellent.
consideration too, so
Excellent.
that we would have that. Hopefully building would be taking place there, so
Yes.
that would be great.
Any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
I have a second motion. I hereby move to grant to Firefly Hollow Brewing Company permission to use a portion of Center Square for their Beer Fest Festival on June 10th, 2017 for overflow parking. I further move that this matter be referred to the Department of Public Works to determine the appropriate location on the event on Center Square. I further move that the matter be referred to the Corporation Counsel's Office for insurance compliance. I further move that the mayor or acting mayor be authorized to execute any necessary documents to effectuate the same.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion.
Yes, Your Honor, the same thing was taken into consideration, so, that we
Great.
making sure they check with them.
Any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Do you have any other? any questions?
I do have one other
Go ahead.
committee report. Okay, I have something from School Readiness. This is kind of information. Normally, our School Readiness program is totally filled. This year, they have gone to a fee-based program which on a sliding scale. And I know that the scale slides from a very, very low amount to something that's a little bit more difficult for people. But there are openings available. So the Bristol Board of Education still has openings at their school readiness programs, which are located at Southside School, Mountain View School, Hubble School, and Ivy Drive. These are part-day, part-year programs, and the fee is based on a sliding fee scale. You can call the Beck Center, the Bristol Early Education Center, and they have the number 860-584-3335 if interested in the program. Speaking about the Board of Education School Readiness, Pre-K, Southside School, and Mountain View were just recently accredited, or reaccredited, by the NIAC, which is the National Association of Education for Younger Children. The School Readiness Council is proud of their programs, all of whom have NIAC accredited. This is a very difficult accreditation, and it's amazing that all teachers in these programs are accredited. So you can be sure if you're sending your child or grandchild to this program, they're going to be met with excellent teachers. And the last thing is the grandparent. As parents, the GAP support program is still looking for grandparents that would be interested in joining the group. Please call Parent and Child Center at the Bristol Hospital. Child care is available for the evening support groups. So again, those are available to anyone that has young children. That's all I have, Your Honor.
Councilwoman?
I just have one tonight. As I've reported for the last few months, BCO, the Bristol Community Organization, which administers lots of programs to elderly and poorer members of our community, they are no longer going to exist. They are you know, we talked about it for many months as a merger. It ended up, after all the negotiations and the lawyers getting involved, being an asset transfer by the HRA, which is the Human Resource Agency of New Britain. And so they will be the organization that's providing basically the same services that BCO has provided in Bristol. And that closing and that actual transaction was approved just last night. And the closing itself will take place on or before December 30th. So it's a go. And there were a few moments when we weren't quite sure it was going to be a go by the end of the year, but it is going to happen by the end of the year. And I want to take this opportunity to say just a couple words about Tom Morrow. Tom Morrow has been the director of the Bristol Community Organization for many, many, many years. I don't want to put a number on it, but I believe it's over 40 that he's been involved in the organization. And one of the reasons for this merger is that we would be able to, you know, save money by not having two directors. It is time for Tom to retire, and he will be doing so as soon as the closing happens. And I just want to thank him for his service. I mean, there really isn't much. I can't adequately say how dedicated and, you know, how much service he's given to the people of Bristol. So I just want to put that on the record, that he will be sorely missed. His institutional knowledge and his knowledge of lots of programs around Bristol really help things run smoothly in the nonprofit and service realm in Bristol. And so he's going to be sorely missed, but he certainly deserves his retirement. So thank you to Tom.
Councilman? Mayor, committee reports? I just have...
No, for me, yes.
I'm sorry. I have a couple, Mayor. First, our Ordinance Committee. Council members Mills and D'Amato and I have had a fairly busy year with the Ordinance Committee. And I want to thank Attorneys Conlon and Simonik for their generous cooperation and dedication with their time. We're struggling right now a little bit with a long-standing challenge where we're trying to structure an ordinance for non-conforming roadways in Bristol. I've done most of the legal research that I want to see, and we've researched how other towns would handle the situation. And I hope to have something presented to my colleagues in January. From the BDA, the office remains very busy. Mr. Malley's in the last stages of perhaps hiring a marketing person. And if you've read the papers over the last couple of weeks, you'll notice that there have been a couple of articles about our grant programs. One detailed a grantee who's having a challenging time right now, and it's part of the Bristol Startup Grant Program. That's a grant program that really encourages business formations and helps encourage startups either moving to Bristol or helps the ones who are formed in Bristol, who are fledgling, if you will. It's a great program. It's a great marketing tool for to show the kind of business environment we have in Bristol. And it's a good way to diversify our business stock in Bristol. Now, you know, we're going to hit some good ones, we're going to hit some bad ones, but we always do our work, we do our research, and I think we do a pretty good job with the grant program. Whenever you deal with startups, you know, there are going to be twists and turns, right? But that's just part of being a startup. If you have any questions regarding what you read or any of that stuff, contact me or contact Mr. Malley. Another grant that you might have read about in the last couple of weeks is to Arthur G. Russell, a very successful local company that's expanding again. A great company, hires local people, and that grant, when you do the economics behind it, the city should get paid back within 5 years or so on that grant program. So that's something that we should really be proud of, that a good local company is expanding and we're helping. Again, another message that Bristol's here to encourage business development. And the last thing, Mayor, is our Commission on Aging. I went to the meeting last month. It was well attended, and I was really happy to know that senior center is growing like with leaps and bounds, doing a great job down there. Pat Tomachak and Mr. Kruger. They had 41 new members last month, and they're now over 6,356 members. Pretty cool. They do a great job. Yeah, thank you. They play a game. Patty, what's the name of that game they play in the gym? Pickleball. I
wanna
went
challenge
down, I made a mistake of going down there.
Did you play?
They killed me. They showed no mercy to the mayor. But we had a good time. Is that anything else? None. Councilwoman?
I get two. The Parks Board enrollment was good in the first winter youth registration, and the second youth registration begins on January 9th. Santaland will be open this Thursday in Rockwell Park. It opens from 6 to 7:30 p.m. on Thursday and Friday, and from noon to 4 p.m. Saturday and Sunday. There'll be arts and crafts, story time, horse-drawn wagon rides, petting zoo, Santa Claus, and much more. And for the Memorial Boulevard Building Committee, the committee just this last week asked the architect and the construction manager to move forward with design documents for Phase 1 of the building. That includes the first floor and the theater. We wanted the architect and the construction manager to assume a 750-seat theater. Parking still has to be worked out for that, and we are moving forward with that. But we also asked the architect and the construction manager to give us an itemized cost in the event City Hall moves to that building, so we know exactly how much would be needed over and above City Hall's requirements. So that's where we are on that.
Councilman?
Just Public Works, specifically a miscellaneous committee. Item number 11 tonight is with regard to the municipal street light LED retrofits. So finally, there has been something that's been recommended out of the Public Works Committee with regards to street light installation. So for me, I've been hoping prior to even me becoming a council person that the city of Bristol can move to some sort of LED street lighting, and I'm very happy to say that it's under this administration and this particular city council that we're able to bring that to the people. So I'm sure at some point we'll get to a timeline, but it's something that the taxpayers are really going to be able to see within a respectable amount of time. Changes are happening, and it's good. I'm very proud to be part of the Miscellaneous Matters Committee. Thanks.
Councilman?
So from the Task Force for Energy Consumption, of which I am a member representing this body, I'd like to piggyback off of what Councilor D'Amato just mentioned, the LED street lighting. As that moves forward and as the installation begins to take place, from what I've heard from other communities that have the LED streetlights, I think people in the community are going to feel like they notice the change, and it might feel jarring or bizarre at first, but this is going to be something that saves the city a lot of money in the long run. Just be aware that you'll definitely notice a change, but try and bear with us. This is something that's important for the city, as Councilor D'Amato just alluded to. And if you have any particular issues or concerns, you can always feel free to reach out to any one of us. But the Energy Task Force that ultimately made this recommendation to Public Works has done a lot of research about the safety of LED lights and the cost-benefit analysis, and we're very excited that this is moving forward as well. Also, from the Library Board, just a quick library announcement. The Bristol Public Library will be open Sundays beginning January 8th, 2017 through Sunday, March 26th, 2017. So that's January 8th through March 26th from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. on Sundays. The library collection includes adult and children's books, magazines, audiobooks, ebooks, DVDs, CDs, and downloadable materials. Internet access, all online resources, and Wi-Fi will also be available on Sundays. All you need is your library card, and if you need more information, you can get in touch with the library or visit their website. And that's it for committee reports from me.
Thank you. And I have none. So let's go to unfinished business, starting on my far right.
None.
None, Your Honor.
None.
None, Your Honor.
None.
I have a couple of things. First, I wanted to apologize for having to leave the MBS workshop that we had, I guess it was last week. And I was just wondering if we have a plan going forward, like for another meeting for that, because I just never got the sort of the final information on that. And I was also wondering, when we were here, there were pictures that were posted on the back wall that were apparently different possibilities for laying out the Memorial Boulevard building as City Hall, and I'm just wondering if we're able to get copies of those.
Yes, there is a CAC, I think that's online, isn't that, Walt? That whole thing's online? Yeah, so that's right online. Anybody could go look at it
Okay.
right online.
That's fine. Thank you.
And as far as where we're going from here is we're going to get the numbers from the Boulevard Building Committee. Once we have those numbers, we're going to have another joint board meeting and go from there.
So that would be numbers regarding the theater and sort of putting the numbers together?
Yes.
Okay.
I just want to clarify, it's not just the theater, it's phase one.
Well, and I'm sorry, and I do understand it as phase one, and for those listening, because we kind of abbreviate things, I appreciate that. That's phase one, I understand. And so, and when are we expecting that might be? Is that coming up in January, or is that still several months
As soon as
out?
we have it, we will have the meeting.
Okay, thank you. And I had one other item for the personnel director.
Going to be a regular up here.
Yes, I wouldn't want you to feel left out.
I know.
I wanted to update folks because, as I've said a couple times, when we have emails back and forth, I don't want people to think that, you know, a topic has ended or we've forgotten about something, et cetera. I wanted to let folks know that you had sent us an email that there are going to be 2 sessions scheduled for January, that the dates have been decided for supervisors and public officials to attend sexual harassment and retaliation training, as we've discussed in the past months. I had a question specifically how many people you expect that to encompass, because your email was sent to certain supervisors and it said, please let us know how many people in your department are attending. And I'm just wondering what the vision is for how many people would be attending this.
The vision is for elected officials, all department heads, and supervisors. So I have a list in my department. Department heads are calling in who from their departments are attending, and we'll match it up with who should attend. Anybody who supervises people.
Okay, and you don't have a ballpark of what that number total is?
Is probably upwards 60, 70 people. Probably more than that.
All right. And again, and I don't remember which meeting, you had told us that the mayor did have, sexual harassment, his training sometime this summer or fall. And I'm just wondering, again, for the record, if you can tell us that date, if you do have it, and if you don't have it today, that's fine. And I'm also asking if you can send the council something in writing, the documentation of who performed that training and what date it was, again, just so we kind of have it for our records too.
Are you questioning whether I went or not?
No, not at all, not at all. I'm saying that Mrs. Ferguson told us that you did, and I just don't remember the date, and I don't remember that she ever told us, who conducted the training, whether it was Wheeler Clinic or...
It was Wheeler Clinic.
Okay, so...
And I can get you confirmation.
Thanks.
Fine.
I appreciate it.
Anything else?
Thank you.
That's it for now, thank you.
Thank you. Any other unfinished business?
Not for me, thank you.
New business, starting my far left.
None for me, thanks.
None.
None.
None, Your Honor.
No.
Chair has none. Appointments. I'm sorry, resignations. No resignations. Appointments. Chippens Hill School Building Committee, Mayor's appointment. Mayor to appoint Councilmember Dave Mills to the committee. I think I told you that, didn't I?
You did now.
Okay. By the way, I'm putting on that committee.
Thank you.
I picked you because you're on the school board.
Okay.
Board of Ed. Board of Finance member Jay Carrier. Bristol Development Authority to reappoint Howard Smelner and to reappoint Mickey Goldwasser. 5-year term to 12/21. Mayor's Task Force on Energy Consumption to appoint Orlando Cafe to replace Mike Lamoth, Board of Finance member. Oh, I'm sorry. On the BDA. Can I have a motion to approve those two?
Move it. Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Mayor's Task Force on Energy Consumption to appoint Orlando Cafe to replace Mike Lamoth. No term.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Housing Code Board of Appeals to reappoint Joe Gelladino, 3-year term. To reappoint Richard Harlow, 3-year term to 12/31/19.
So moved.
Second,
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. Inland Wetlands Commission, Mayor's appointment to appoint Zachary Fisk to replace Tracy Pearl as alternate member, unexpired term to 9/19. Park Board of Commissioners, to reappoint Diane Nasira, to reappoint Patrick Nelligan, and to reappoint Joshua Levesque, all three-year terms to 12/19.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion passes. Board of Police Commissioners, to reappoint Kevin Fuller, three-year term to 12/19.
So moved.
Second. Motion made and seconded, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. Board of Water Commissioners, to reappoint James Brown, three-year term to 12/19.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. Zoning Commission, to reappoint Cindy Lamar, alternate member, three-year term to 12/19.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. And just a reminder to everyone out there, we have board appointments, so if you're interested in getting on the board, please notify myself, my office, one of the council members, and they'll get your name over to us and what you may or may not be interested in. Thank you. Item number 11.
Authorization for mayor or acting mayor to execute contract 2P 1716, municipal streetlight LED retrofits with Tanco Street Lighting Incorporated for $1,733,552, and refer to Corporation Council for review.
Your Honor, I can read the motion if you
Go
like.
ahead, please.
I move that the City Council authorize the mayor or acting mayor to execute contract 2P17-016 municipal street LED light retrofits with Tanco Street Lighting Incorporated in the amount of $1,733,552. I further move that Corporation Council review contract documents for compliance with the city codes and regulations.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded, discussion.
I would just like to add to what Councilor D'Amato has already said. There is a test light outside my office on West Street, right outside Hamlin and Sons, and it is very bright in that area, which obviously needs it, especially at night. And I think this is a great project. I was on the Miscellaneous Matters Committee when we toured all the test street lights. I think it's going to do wonders for the city. It's going to increase the light and save us costs, a lot of costs in the future, so I'm in favor of it.
Just a brief comment. I'm also glad to see this come to fruition. It's been quite a while that this has been on. I know when I first got on the council 6 years ago, this is something we discussed, so it's great that it's happening, and I know it was discussed before that, so this is a great step forward.
Any other discussion?
One other comment, Your Honor?
Yep.
When was the last time you got more for less? Really? So just for me, it was like a no-brainer. We're really, as a city, going to be getting more light over the course of time for less money. So it really is a win-win for the taxpayers and the citizens of Bristol. And again, I think we're all very proud to move this forward, so
Well,
thanks.
this is a three-year payback? About?
It's a 5.22-year payback.
That's close. And after that, this is all savings, so this is an investment, and again, saving our electric bill. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. Item number 12.
Resolution regarding approval for city to enter into a federal fiscal year 2016 state Homeland Security Grant Program Region 3 Memorandum of Agreement with the State of Connecticut Department of Emergency Management and Homeland Security. And there is a resolution to read.
Someone want to read it?
I can read that.
Go ahead.
Be it hereby resolved that the City Council of the City of Bristol, Connecticut may enter into with and deliver to the State of Connecticut Department of Emergency Management and Homeland Security a fiscal year, I'm not sure what federal fiscal year 2016 State Homeland Security Grant Program Region 3 Memorandum of Agreement, including any and all documents which it deems to be necessary or appropriate. And be it further resolved that the mayor of the City of Bristol or the acting mayor is authorized and directed to execute and deliver any and all documents on behalf of the City Council of the City of Bristol, Connecticut, and to do and perform all acts and things which he deems to be necessary or appropriate to carry out the terms of such documents, including but not limited to executing and delivering all agreements and documents contemplated by such documents. Be it further resolved, this matter be referred to the Board of Finance for any necessary action.
Do I have a second? Motion made and seconded, discussion. Resolution starting my far left.
Yes.
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 Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion passes. Item number 13.
Resolution regarding approval of economic development grant for $95,000 to the Arthur G. Russell Company Incorporated to construct a 20,000 square foot addition to its facility at 750 Clark Avenue.
Your Honor, I can read that as well.
Go ahead.
Be it hereby resolved by the City Council of the City of Bristol, Connecticut, to provide an economic development grant in the amount of $95,000, which includes $20,000 for job creation to the Arthur G. Russell Company Incorporated, for purposes of constructing an approximately 20,000 square foot addition to its facility at 750 Clark Avenue to expand manufacturing operations to add new full-time employment positions subject to normal provisions. Be it further resolved that this matter be referred to the Board of Finance for any necessary action.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Justin, can you just get up and give us a little overview on what's going on here, please?
Sure. Sorry, Councilman Perleski did a great job earlier, the BDA liaison, but essentially what we have here is a company that has been committing to Bristol now several times. They built their facility up on Clark Avenue in 1996, and now they're expanding. The great story with this particular project for us is that the mayor and I were up at AGR 3 years ago when AGR was sort of contemplating this expansion. AGR was going to purchase, frankly, a competitor that was down in Bridgeport, and they were kind of weighing their options, and the mayor and I just said, hey, listen, obviously we'd encourage you to move forward with that expansion, and if and when you do, just understand we're going to support you in that, and you'll have the opportunity to apply for grant funds if you have to expand the facility, if you're hiring folks, you're buying equipment, et cetera. So I guess we like to think that sort of relationship helped make their decision to purchase Bodine and then expand a little easier. And that's what this is about. It's about doing this for AGR, but then promoting it to other companies so they know that that's what they can expect when they come here to Bristol.
Great.
Thanks, Justin.
Through the chair, can I ask a question,
Go ahead.
Justin,
Yeah,
while
sure,
you're up here?
sure.
Just a logistical thing. If a company gets one of these economic development grants from the city, are they able to reapply if they have another project in the future? Or is there a limit? Is there like an intervaling time?
It's a great
that has to
question.
pass?
There isn't a rule that says they can't.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, the idea is to spread out the grant funds to as
Sure.
many companies as possible. Almost a great problem for us to have if AGR or any company comes back a couple of years later and says, hey, we're growing again.
Yep.
I don't think I would, I think I'd get back to them just as quickly as I would otherwise. So,
Okay.
good question.
Let me just jump on what you said. This is a relationship. This is what we do. Justin's out there talking to businesses, and these things sometimes take years. This is relationship building, getting the trust factor out there that we're here to help you grow, whether a new business coming into Bristol or a current business that's growing. This is a perfect example. They're putting on a big addition, bringing a number of jobs to Bristol, and it's just a great success story.
You know, something I see outside of politics in my professional work in workforce development and education, I know, Justin, you're familiar with this, is an ever-increasing need and focus on investing in workforce. So I think that this is going to be an exciting place where the city can put its dollars in terms of economic development to make us even more competitive with surrounding communities and say, you know, not only if you're a company looking to do a physical expansion or buy more equipment, if you need to train your workforce, if you need to hire more people, we might be able to support that from an economic development standpoint too. So if that's something that's on the BDA's radar moving forward, I think that could be very good.
I could, not to cut you off, I could talk about that stuff with you all day and up here all day, and we've had, you know, some work together already, and I'm working with manufacturers basically every day, you know, like you, and we hear the same issues. It's the hiring piece, and we need to get out in front of that. And you're right. We need to work on maybe other incentives, specifically about the hiring piece, because once we lose the ability to have that workforce here in Bristol available to manufacturers, we lose our advantage.
Exactly.
You know,
Agreed.
So.
Agreed. Thank you, Justin.
And I think that might, sorry, Your Honor, that might go with something that you said, Counselor Brown, with regards to how many times the company can come up, how Justin said there's no rule. I think there's a little bit of latitude with regards to the commission on who can be approved and for what that is.
Right.
We kind of have the ability to put our feelers out and kind of massage the data a little bit and figure out if it does make sense or if it works for the taxpayers.
And that's the thing, it has to make sense, you know, that with this program, I don't know if it's always been this way, but we really do look at it, and it's a little bit of a science here, and it's not just dreaming up grant amounts. We need to look at payback and employment, and we're trying to do this the right way.
All right.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call, starting my far right.
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
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 Chair votes yes, motion passes. Any other business? Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Remain seconded. Discussion. Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.